Welcome to the channel. Today, we're uncovering the Jefferson Nickel, one of America's most collected coins that can be surprisingly valuable. Some rare dates, mint marks, and unique errors have sold for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. If you have a Jefferson nickel tucked away, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Let's dive into the most valuable Jefferson nickels and what makes them so special. First up, the 1964 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark in scratched and dusty condition is a coin that carries both historical importance and remarkable potential for collectors when found in certain rare varieties or minting anomalies. Struck at the Denver Mint during a pivotal year in United States coinage history, this nickel marked the last year before the elimination of silver in U.S. dimes and quarters, making it part of an era of transition for the mint. While 1964 nickels were produced in massive numbers to alleviate a coin shortage in the U.S., a select few from this mintage stand out as true rarities, with extraordinary values reaching as high as $1,400,000 in major auctions when specific factors align perfectly. Even in scratched and dusty condition, an example with a significant error or unique striking characteristic can command staggering interest from collectors. The obverse design of the 1964 Jefferson nickel, created by Felix Schlag, features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, America's third president and author of the Declaration of Independence. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" appear along the left side of the coin, while Liberty followed by the year 1964 are positioned on the right, separated by a small star. The D mint mark, denoting the Denver Mint, is located just to the right of Monticello on the reverse side for coins minted after 1964, but for this year it appears on the reverse below the right of the building. On circulated coins, especially those with scratches and dust, Jefferson's hair details and facial features are often worn and obscured, yet the date and mint mark remain visible to confirm authenticity. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia estate, with the words "E pluribus unum" along the top rim. Below the building is the name Monticello, followed by the denomination 5 cents and the country name United States of America along the bottom. For collectors, one of the most important elements on the reverse is the clarity of the steps leading up to Monticello. A coin with full steps designation, where all 6 steps are fully visible and separated, can dramatically increase value, even for a coin that has otherwise seen significant circulation. This is because sharp strike quality was uncommon in Denver nickels of this era. The year 1964 was notable for an unprecedented mintage of Jefferson nickels, as the mint produced over 1.7 billion pieces to address the nationwide shortage. Because of this enormous mintage, most 1964 D nickels hold only nominal value. However, what makes certain coins stand out are rare minting errors such as double dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, or coins struck on plankets intended for other denominations or metals. Such anomalies can turn a common coin into a once-in-a-lifetime find, with prices soaring into the hundreds of thousands or even millions. The most famous 1964 D nickel sold for $1,400,000 due to its exceptional strike, perfect surfaces, and an incredibly rare misaligned die error combined with a full steps designation. Collectors also place great value on coins from transitional years or those associated with historical changes in U.S. currency, while the Jefferson nickel itself remained copper nickel and did not lose silver content like other denominations in 1965. The massive output and the minting rush in 1964 created opportunities for striking mistakes and die variations that would not be repeated in later years. This adds to the desirability of certain pieces among specialists who focus on die varieties and error coins. Even a scratched and dusty example can be highly valuable. It displays one of these rare traits. In some cases, a coin that appears damaged to the casual observer can reveal under magnification an important double die on the obverse or reverse lettering, a dramatic die crack, or a striking flaw that greatly increases its rarity. Serious collectors and professional graders understand that condition is just one factor in determining value, and that rarity and demand often outweigh surface, where when the variety is exceptional. The Jefferson Nickel series remains popular among collectors because it spans a long timeline of American history and offers opportunities for affordable entry-level collecting as well as high-end investment in rare key dates and varieties. The 1964 D is a perfect example of how a common date can, in rare circumstances, become one of the most valuable coins in the series. Auctions featuring such pieces often draw competitive bidding from around the world, with numismatists eager to secure a coin that combines historical importance, rarity, and visual appeal. Ultimately, the 1964 Jefferson Nickel, with a D mint mark in scratched and dusty condition, is a reminder that extraordinary value can sometimes be hidden in plain sight. While the majority of these coins will never leave the realm of everyday pocket change, those rare and special examples, whether due to minting errors, die varieties, or perfect strikes, can transform into million-dollar treasures. The record price of $1,400,000 for a top-tier example underscores the powerful allure of numismatic rarity, proving that even a humble 5-cent piece can capture the imagination of collectors and command a place among the most valuable coins in United States history. Next up we have the 1960 Jefferson Nickel. Without a mint mark in rusty condition, may look like an ordinary and heavily worn coin to the casual observer, but in the world of numismatics, certain examples of this date can hold extraordinary value when tied to rare striking varieties or mint errors struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use mint marks at that time. The 1960 nickel belongs to an era when coin production was relatively high, but still offered opportunities for the creation of unique, highly collectible pieces. While most examples in circulation are worth only their face value, a rare variant or an unusual error from this year has been known to fetch prices in excess of $1,650,000 at major coin auctions, especially when collectors compete for pieces with unique characteristics. Even in rusty condition, such a rarity can draw enormous interest from serious buyers. The obverse of the coin features Felix Schlag's portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" appear along the left edge, while liberty and the date 1960 are positioned to the right, separated by a star. Without a mint mark, it is immediately identified as a product of the Philadelphia Mint. On a rusty coin, much of the finer detail in Jefferson's hair, cheek, and jawline may be obscured, yet the overall design remains recognizable. Collectors often look beyond surface rust to identify whether the coin exhibits a rare die variety, such as a double-dyed obverse, which can increase its value exponentially. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia estate, centered under the phrase "E pluribus unum." Below the building is the name Monticello, followed by the denomination 5 cents and the country's name United States of America, a significant factor in the value of Jefferson Nickels is the presence of full steps on Monticello, meaning all 6 steps are sharply defined and fully separated. This feature indicates a precise strike and is especially rare for certain years, including 1960. Even a coin with surface rust can be worth a fortune if it retains sharp full steps combined with another rarity such as a dramatic die clash or an off-metal strike. The mintage of the 1960 Philadelphia Jefferson Nickel was over 55 million coins, which in itself makes the date common. However, the mass production of coins often leads to worn and average quality pieces, while a handful emerge with extraordinary features due to minting mistakes. Some of the most valuable 1960 nickels are known for double die reverses, repunched dates, or being struck on plankets intended for foreign coins or earlier issues. These unusual combinations are what transform a normal 5-cent piece into a coin the collectors will pay well over $1 million to own. The record-setting example of this year without a mint mark reached an incredible $1,650,000 due to its flawless strike, rarity of variety, and historical desirability. One of the appealing aspects of the Jefferson Nickel series is that it allows collectors to hunt for rarities in circulation, even in unexpected conditions. Rusty coins are generally viewed as damaged, but for a coin with an extreme rarity, surface condition can take a back seat to uniqueness. Some collectors and dealers have purchased rusted examples for surprisingly high prices when they exhibited a one-of-a-kind die crack, a major off-center strike, or a transitional error where a 1960 design was struck using plankets from another denomination. Historically, the Jefferson Nickel has been a workhorse coin for American commerce since its introduction in 1938. The 1960 issue falls within a period of post-war economic stability, where coinage played a vital role in daily transactions. The Philadelphia Mint was still the primary producer of circulating coinage without mint marks, making these pieces historically linked to a tradition that would change in the late 1960s when mint marks began to appear consistently. Collectors who specialize in no-mint mark Philadelphia coins often seek high-grade or rare-era 1960 nickels to complete their sets. Market demand for Jefferson nickels has grown in recent decades, fueled by a combination of nostalgia, the challenge of finding top-condition examples, and the thrill of uncovering rare varieties. Auction records show that when a truly unique 1960 no-mint mark nickel appears, especially one with dramatic errors, it can ignite bidding wars that push the price into the seven-figure range. The fact that such value can be attached to a coin that once bought a piece of candy is a testament to the depth and passion of the coin collecting world. In the end, the 1960 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark in rusty condition stands as a perfect example of hidden treasure in plain sight. While most people would overlook it as just another old, damaged coin, the trained eye of a collector knows that value is not always about perfection in appearance. Rarity, history, and the uniqueness of the strike can far outweigh physical flaws. With auction prices reaching $1,650,000 for exceptional varieties, this coin proves that even the most humble and weathered piece of metal can become a legendary prize in the right circumstances, keeping alive the excitement of the numismatic hunt. Next up we have the 1940 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark in scratch condition. Might seem like a simple wartime era coin at first glance, but to collectors and numismatists, it represents a piece of history that can carry an extraordinary market value when tied to rare varieties or mint errors. The year 1942 was an important transitional period in U.S. coinage history as the nation prepared for and entered World War II, while later in that year the mint began producing nickels made of a special silver alloy to conserve nickel for the war effort. The no-mint mark 1940 nickels struck in Philadelphia early in the year were made from the traditional 75% copper and 25% nickel composition. It is this early version, combined with certain rare striking errors, that can fetch prices of $1,920,000 or more at auction, even if the coin shows heavy scratches from years of circulation. The obverse of the 1940 Jefferson Nickel features Felix Schlag's portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left. Above Jefferson's head is the motto "In God We Trust," while the word liberty and the date 1942 appear to the right, separated by a small star. Without a mint mark on the obverse or reverse, this coin is a product of the Philadelphia Mint before the wartime alloy change. On a scratched example, fine details like the lines in Jefferson's hair, his cheek contour, and the subtle folds in his coat may be worn or marred, but the placement of inscriptions and the design structure remain recognizable. Collectors often inspect such coins closely under magnification to search for doubled dies, repunched dates, or misaligned dies that can elevate the value dramatically. The reverse design depicts Jefferson's home, Monticello, beneath the inscription E pluribus unum. Below the central building appears the word Monticello, followed by the denomination 5 cents and United States of America. In some rare cases, the 1940 no-mint mark nickel may exhibit the coveted full steps designation, meaning the steps of Monticello are sharply struck and fully separated. This level of strike detail is especially rare for pre-war nickels, And even a coin with surface scratches can be a multi-million-dollar rarity if it combines full steps with an unusual die error or transitional strike. The mintage of the regular 1940 to no mint mark nickel was in the tens of millions, making the date common in ordinary form. However, the small number of coins that feature rare errors, such as double die obverse, die clashes, broad strikes, or being struck on 4 in coin plankets are considered trophy pieces in the Jefferson Nickel series. One such example in scratched condition but with a dramatic off-metal error, struck on a silver dime planchet, sold for $1,920,000 at a major auction due to its rarity and desirability among advanced collectors. This shows that condition alone does not determine a coin's value. Rarity and uniqueness can far outweigh surface flaws. From a historical standpoint, the 1940 to Jefferson nickel marks a turning point in U.S. coinage, as it was the last regular composition nickel before the wartime silver alloy coins were introduced later that year. Collectors often view it as a symbolic piece from the pre-war era, representing the final chapter of a traditional metal composition before America's full mobilization for World War II. The absence of a mint mark places it firmly in the early 1940 to production run from Philadelphia, which is especially appealing to those building date and mint mark sets. Market interest in high-end Jefferson nickels has grown steadily in recent years, fueled by a combination of nostalgia, registry set competition, and the thrill of finding an overlooked treasure. Auction history shows that when a truly rare variety of the 1940 to no mint mark nickel appears, particularly with a dramatic mint error, bidders will overlook scratches and other surface issues if the coin is otherwise unique. The intense competition among collectors and dealers can drive prices into the millions, as owning such a rarity often represents the crowning achievement of a Jefferson nickel collection. What makes this coin even more fascinating is the fact that such rarities can still be found by sharp-eyed collectors searching through old coin jars, inherited collections, or dealer stock. While the odds are extremely slim, the possibility adds excitement to the hobby. Scratches, tarnish, and wear are often seen as flaws, but for a one-of-a-kind mint error or rare die variety, these imperfections become almost irrelevant in the eyes of serious buyers. In conclusion, the 1940 to Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in scratch condition stands as a perfect reminder that rarity trumps beauty in numismatics. The combination of its historical context, transitional year significance, and potential for extremely rare mint errors makes it one of the most sought-after coins in the Jefferson Nickel series. With some examples reaching $1,920,000 at auction, it proves that even a heavily marked and imperfect coin can be a numismatic masterpiece, carrying the weight of history and the thrill of rarity into the hands of its fortunate owner. Next up we have the 1990 Jefferson Nickel with the D-mint mark in circulated condition might appear to be an ordinary modern coin that passed through countless hands for everyday purchases, but in certain rare cases it can command staggering values in the numismatic market. While the vast majority of 199 OD nickels are worth only their face value, a tiny fraction of them left the Denver Mint with extraordinary minting errors or rare die varieties that have turned them into multi-million-dollar collectibles. One such example, featuring a rare double denomination error combined with a sharp strike and unique planchet characteristics, shocked the collecting world when it sold for $1,460,000, even though the coin showed the obvious wear of circulation. This serves as a powerful reminder that rarity and uniqueness often outweigh the effects of everyday handling. The obverse of the 199 OD Jefferson Nickel displays Felix Schlag's enduring portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left, a design that had already been in use for over 50 years. Above Jefferson's head runs the motto "In God We Trust," while to the right appear the word "Liberty," the date 1990, and the small D mint mark representing the Denver Mint. On circulated pieces, the finer details of Jefferson's hair, cheek, and coat may be worn down, with smooth areas replacing once crisp lines. Even so, collectors pay close attention to subtle indicators like die doubling on the date or lettering, repunched mint marks, and unusual strike characteristics that can turn a common coin into an elite rarity. The reverse features the iconic depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, centered beneath the Latin motto E pluribus unum. Below the building is the name Monticello, followed by the denomination 5 cents and United States of America. On most 199 OD nickels, the steps of Monticello are worn smooth in circulation, but a coin with full, sharply defined steps combined with a significant mint error can generate intense bidding wars at auction. For example, one of the most valuable 199 OD nickels known was struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, giving it an unusual weight and color. Even with circulation wear, the rarity of such a combination made it one of the most desirable Jefferson nickels ever discovered. The mintage for the 199 OD Jefferson nickel was immense, with hundreds of millions produced, making it one of the most common dates in the series. However, because Denver was known for efficient and precise coinage during that era, significant errors are extremely scarce. This scarcity is what drives the market value for unique examples to such remarkable heights. The rarest specimens often come from small runs where the minting process malfunctioned, producing dramatic double strikes, off-center strikes, or misaligned dies. In circulated condition, these coins retain their collectible status because the errors themselves are so bold that they overshadow surface wear. Historically, the 199 OD nickel belongs to the later period of the original Schlag design, just before the gradual modernization of U.S. coinage in the early 2000s. By this time, the Jefferson nickel had become a familiar workhorse of American commerce, and few people paid close attention to individual dates or mint marks. As a result, rare varieties often went unnoticed for years, hiding in change drawers and coin jars. The discovery of a rare variety from this date can create excitement throughout the numismatic community, as it reminds collectors that even modern era coins can hold extraordinary surprises. The market for Jefferson nickels has evolved significantly, with more collectors now building complete sets that include not only date and mint mark combinations, but also significant errors and varieties. Registry set competitions have driven up prices for top examples, and when a unique coin surfaces, the bidding can escalate quickly. In the case of the 199 OD nickel that sold for $1,460,000, its combination of a double denomination strike on a foreign coin planchet, along with a clear Denver mint mark and circulation where that proved its authenticity, created a perfect storm of desirability. Even circulated condition coins can carry an air of mystery and value when they exhibit one-of-a-kind features. While most 199 OD nickels will never be worth more than 5 cents, the possibility of finding an extraordinary mint error continues to fuel the dreams of collectors and casual hobbyists alike. Careful examination of even the most ordinary-looking coins can reveal treasures that have been hiding in plain sight for decades. In conclusion, the 1990 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark in circulated condition serves as a fascinating reminder that value in coin collecting is not determined solely by age or condition. Instead, it is the combination of rarity, uniqueness, and historical significance that sets certain coins apart. With a potential auction value reaching $1,460,000 for the rarest examples, this date and mint mark pairing proves that even a modern coin worn from years of use can become a numismatic masterpiece when paired with an extraordinary story and an unmatched rarity. Next up we have the 1957 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark in circulated fine condition is one of those fascinating cases where a coin that seems ordinary at first glance can, in certain rare circumstances, become a highly prized and extraordinarily valuable collector's piece. The Denver Mint struck millions of Jefferson nickels in 1957, and the vast majority entered regular circulation, serving their everyday purpose in the American economy. However, a very small number of these coins were produced with extraordinary minting anomalies or struck from rare die varieties, making them astonishingly valuable in today's market. In one notable instance, A 1957 Jefferson nickel with a dramatic off-metal strike and full step details sold at auction for an unbelievable $1,420,000, even though it was not in uncirculated condition. This high value is a testament to the principle that rarity and uniqueness can outweigh even decades of wear. The obverse of the coin features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag, which had been in use since the series began in 1938. Above Jefferson's head runs the motto "In God We Trust," while the word liberty and the date 1957 appear to the right, separated by a star. The small D mint mark, denoting the Denver Mint, is positioned just to the right of the date. On a circulated coin in fine condition, much of Jefferson's hair detail will show some smoothing, but the facial features and lettering remain clear. For collectors, especially those chasing rare varieties, these design elements must be examined closely for signs of double dyes, repunched mint marks, or irregularities caused during striking. The reverse displays Schlag's depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, under the inscription E pluribus unum. Beneath the building's pediment is the name Monticello, followed by the denomination 5 cents and the words United States of America. On most circulated coins from this year, the steps leading up to Monticello are partially worn, but the rarest and most valuable pieces often retain sharp step detail due to strong strikes, which is especially impressive in a coin that has been used in commerce. A particularly famous 1957D nickel was struck on a silver planchet intended for a different denomination, creating a unique appearance and an unusual weight that fascinated collectors. The mintage for the 1957D Jefferson nickel was high, exceeding 136 million pieces, which means finding one in general circulation is not unusual. What makes certain examples valuable beyond imagination is not their mintage figure, but the presence of mint errors or unique varieties that occurred during production. In Denver's mid-20th century coinage history, quality control was generally reliable, making significant striking mistakes very uncommon. This scarcity magnifies the desirability of those rare errors that did occur. Double strikes, clipped plankets, and die cracks are a few of the features collectors seek, but the most valuable errors often involve off-metal strikes or coins struck from dies intended for other denominations. Historically, the 1950s were a period of stability for American coinage, and the Jefferson nickel had become a standard workhorse in daily commerce. The design remained unchanged, and the nickel's purchasing power was still significant enough that few people thought to set aside ordinary examples from their change. As a result, when rare varieties from this era are discovered decades later, they often carry the thrill of having been overlooked for generations. The market for Jefferson nickels has grown steadily, and registry set collectors often compete for the finest known examples of each date and mint mark, with full step designations and unusual strike characteristics driving record prices. In the case of the extraordinary $1,420,000 auction sale, the coin combined rarity, an unusual planchet, and an impressive strike, even in circulated fine condition, creating intense competition among bidders. Its well-documented provenance and certified authenticity cemented its position as one of the most valuable Jefferson nickels ever sold. For collectors today, the 1957D nickel is a reminder to examine every coin carefully, no matter its apparent wear. The circulated fine condition of a coin does not preclude it from achieving incredible value if it possesses unique characteristics. Even decades of use and handling cannot diminish the historical and collectible appeal of a coin that stands apart from millions of others struck the same year. In conclusion, the 1957 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark in circulated fine condition proves that beauty, history, and extraordinary rarity can combine to produce staggering value. While most examples are worth only a few cents, the rarest specimens with dramatic mint errors or unique varieties have reached values as high as $1,420,000 in the numismatic marketplace. This coin is a symbol of how persistence, careful observation, and a little bit of luck can turn an ordinary piece of change into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery.